Turn now to the forecast. Brad, tracking a lot of rain out there, and things could get a little raucous as we move into tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow's going to be a long day because I don't think it's just going to be like one part of the day. We could have several waves, and the flash flood risk will continue as time goes on because, as we've been mentioning, now this rain doesn't seem all that bad right now, but it's kind of laying the groundwork for what's going to head our way. This is typically how some of our flood events unfold. We get waves of rain, or what we call training, with storms move over the same spot again and again. Well, there's our tropical storm Fred. It's way down there. Believe it or not, most of this rain is only indirectly associated with Fred. We've got a stalled front to the north and just a big plume of tropical moisture. So even if Fred wasn't there, we'd have some heavy rain. The problem is Fred's going to add fuel to this in the form of more moisture. And you can see that big plume of moisture, and that's really going to start late tonight into tomorrow. The circulation moves north. And one of the setups that we often fear about here in the Carolinas is the mountains. They're gorgeous, they're beautiful, but when you get a southeast wind off the Atlantic with tropical moisture, it hits the mountains, which lift the air. The mountains essentially act like a stalled cold front, lifting the air, which is like a saturated sponge. You barely got to touch it to squeeze moisture out of it. And when you lift it 5,000 to 6,000 feet, you start to squeeze out a lot of moisture, and it's going to be tropical in nature. Those showers and storms will anchor against the mountains and produce flash flooding. So that's our highest risk. But we also have a tornado risk because we'll be on the right side or the east side of the track. Remember, the track is over here in Tennessee. That puts us on the northeast quadrant, which is the most dangerous part of any tropical system, even the remnants of one, because this is where you see enough rotation to cause spinning storms. Now, the key part tomorrow to those tornadoes will be, what do we see in the form of sun or thinning of the clouds? Like right here, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, see the breaks developing? It doesn't take much. The atmosphere is really unstable, so the next batch of storms could be rotating. So we'll have to watch for potentially some severe storms, especially in the evening hours into the overnight hours, possibly even 2 o'clock in the morning Wednesday. But by Wednesday morning, the good news is this should be moving out. So that's why I say this will come at us in waves today, tomorrow morning, then maybe again tomorrow night before the whole mess begins to move out here. Now, the heaviest rain will be along the track of Fred's remnants, but also in the mountains because of that lift. You can see how right there in the mountains we see the higher totals. That's 5 to 10 inches of rain. Locally could be higher. That means a landslide, mudslide threat as well. 2 to 4 inches across the Piedmont, but that'll be more localized depending on where the heavy rain bands set up. Want to give you an update on 2 other tropical systems. There's Grace, no threat to the U.S., but could a threat in Mexico as a hurricane. And then Henri, which is out here just to the southeast of Bermuda. It's going to do a loop-de-loop. No direct threat either, but big swells, rip currents, and waves along the coast, especially the Outer Banks, as it recurves out to sea. Get ready for a soggy Tuesday. There'll be waves of rain, maybe several, 2 to 3 throughout the day. That rain will linger into Wednesday, but then it all moves out. Here comes the heat and humidity. We'll get a chance to dry out as August weather returns for the weekend.
All right. Thank you, Brad.